back to another weekly podcast. I'm Kayla.
I'm Crystal.
And today we are going to talk about Moundsville Prison, also known as West Virginia State Pen. I can't say the full name. Don't ask me to. She can't either. This one is really spooky.
Gruesome.
Brutal.
Yes, very.
So this is actually one of the places we're going to go, and that's why we didn't say anything until today, because we wanted you guys to tune in and talk about what we want to experience when we're there. So we're going to go over the history a little bit first and why we think it's haunted, and then stuff we want to do when we're there. So the prison was actually opened in 1866, and the prisoners made it themselves.
Yeah. They built the first half of it?
The first half. They built the very first half of it.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier. I have to put this in here. You want to say it, or do you want me to? So I was telling her that, the prisoners built it themselves. And I was like, where do you think that they stayed? And she was like, I don't know, on the floor maybe? And I was like, yeah, but where on the floor? And she was like, maybe in tents. Like a tent city. And I'm just like, oh, Crystal. Oh, Crystal.
Who knew?
I mean, for real. That's the only picture I have in my head now is just a bunch of prisoners in tents together.
Right, a bunch of little teepees just scattered out on the wall.
Speaking of teepees, it's on an Indian burial ground.
Yeah?
So another reason it could be
haunted.
Very haunted.
Yeah, this place was very brutal. What was it?
What part? There's a lot of brutality.
There is a lot of brutality. What was the one room where they would do the executions?
Oh, the death house?
Yes.
So they literally had public executions where people could buy tickets to come watch people die. And it was anyone. Nowadays, I don't even think they do it public.
I don't think so.
But back then, anyone could go. You don't have to know these people. Right. You could just go. You could buy a ticket and you could go. It got to the point so bad where someone, I think they were hung. And it was a big dude. And they cut the rope to hang him too long. And he fell. And it decapitated him. That's
crazy.
So they put an end to the public executions. But then it turned into invitation only. And I feel like the warden there was so sick that he would allow people to purchase tickets. He would profit off of it still. Because he's losing money at that point, you know what I mean? Yeah. I would never be able to watch that.
I could not.
Never. No. I would never, no.
And didn't they have an execution chair and they named it Old Sparky?
Yeah. What a good name.
Right. It fits well.
Sparky.
Oh, God.
Being electrocuted, and you name the chair Old Sparky. And I'm pretty sure the chair is still there. I think.
Interesting.
I don't know for a fact.
We'll have to check it out.
But we're going to find out, because we're going again. Can't wait.
Hopefully we can try and, You said we can't
If
film.
you say sit on that chair, that's a big no from me. Because 9 people died in that chair.
Yeah, no.
I'm good.
I don't think I could.
I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah. What if you sit in it and then you feel all these different...
You know what would be cool, though? Doing the Estes method.
Yeah.
In that chair.
Yeah.
Who's doing it?
What is that?
Nose goes! You've never heard of nose goes?
No.
Drop a comment if you've heard of nose goes. Come on.
Mine was not it.
Unreal.
Oh
nose goes.
Nose goes. Didn't know that one.
No, whoever touches their nose first
doesn't go.
Does not go. Who touches their nose last, they go. So, if we can sit in the chair, she's doing the Estes.
We'll see.
Which means you're going to be, headphone blindfolded, sensory deprived, listening to ghosties talk to you. Have fun.
Might be into it.
Have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lock me in a cell.
I might quit.
You're not going to quit. We're not going to do that. Because I had those thoughts. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it.
Right. That's not an option.
No, it's not.
At this point.
We're too happy to go to these places. And we're really enjoying doing this.
Too excited, yeah.
Like, we have our first investigation pretty much booked. We're just waiting on a few final touches. I feel like we're really getting off point, sorry. Anyway, back to Moundsville.
Yes.
The death house is what they called it.
Yeah.
So they would have gallows there. They would have the electrocution chair there. Like, any execution was taking place there. And then they eventually, like, demolished it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, no more public.
And what was the other one called? The Sugar Shack?
Ooh, Sugar Shack.
The Sugar Shack was...
not a good place to be.
Yeah, I don't... No.
You want to stay in there alone?
No.
Okay, so question. Would you rather do an Estes in the electric chair or stay alone for 20 minutes in the Sugar Shack? No lights. Only the camera and IR. With equipment.
That would be freaky because it's a place known for shadows.
Yeah. Pick your poison.
I don't know what would be... I don't know. It's like 50-50. I don't know if I want to see it or if I want to hear it.
That's fair.
You know?
Which one are you more scared of? I've done an Estes. Like, it's not...
I think for me it would be...
I think seeing it would be more scary.
Yeah.
I would take the Estes.
I think I'd rather hear it.
Yeah. 10 times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
So
I'd rather hear it.
to stay alone?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Why do I sign myself up? I literally just kind of volunteered myself to do that.
Listen, if I'm doing something, you're doing something too.
Can't you just, like, lock me in a... Ooh. I have another idea.
Uh-oh.
Red Snyder.
Oh.
We could lock you in his cell.
Oh, I don't know about that one. He was brutal.
So we're going to talk about Red Snyder, since we're on that topic now. Red Snyder was the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, which is a white supremacist gang. His best friend ended up stabbing him in the face 37, well, his neck, his face, and I think his chest, 37 times. His best friend did that. Brutal.
That is brutal.
But, like, he was a dangerous dude.
Yeah.
He was a top dog in there.
It's rumored that you can hear him when you walk past his cell. He says your name.
So, Estes or Red Snyder's cell?
Oh, I don't know.
You're hearing both.
Right. I don't know. I heard also, I don't know if it was this one or someone else, but it might have been JD.
JD Wall's a good one, too.
Where when females go in there, he, like, caresses them or, like, grabs their hair or, like, touches their face.
Love a good caress on my face. I'm a ghost. Just a soft little...
Right.
I would cry.
Or just the hair, like, hit your ponytail, like...
That's fine.
Yeah.
I would probably try and debunk it. Yeah. I would probably try and debunk it and say, like, oh, there's a breeze.
Right.
Well, what's that breeze? We're in a locked room.
Yeah.
There's no breeze in here. There's no windows.
If you just did that, do it again.
And it did it again, what would happen?
I think I would, yeah.
Cry.
I'd get goosebumps, be like, Kayla, I'm out.
But we're not. Like, if we're going.
I'm going to the next area.
There's no safe place in here.
I know.
There's no safe place. So there's the Sugar Shack. There's Red Snyder's cell. There's the execution house, which is no longer there, but still, it's on that ground.
Right.
And then there's solitary confinement.
Oh, that one.
That one would suck. So they got shackled by their wrist in the dark, no electricity, and they were given 2 buckets. You got one for water, and you got one for other. And I'm sure we all know what other means. But, plot twist, every time it rains, which we're in West Virginia, snow, rain,
it flooded.
It floods.
And
it had friendly little creatures down there.
Cockroaches.
So, imagine your buckets overflowing. Well, you're being flooded in solitary. You're shackled. And your bathroom bucket Yeah.
Your feces is floating along with you.
I'm good.
The little buggies are right along with you.
1 to 30 days.
No. You have to sit in that water for that whole time.
Yep. No electricity. So what if you don't even know, like, your bucket fell over because there's no electricity?
That's crazy.
I just thought of that. Like, what if you had no idea and then you're just like, I don't know. No thanks. What if you... Yeah. There's a lot of things going on in my head
that's torturous.
This place is pure torture.
Yeah. You know, this place kind of reminds me of, like, you know that movie 13 Ghosts?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Oh, you gotta see it. It's like every single thing is different. Like, you got the jackal. You got, you know, all these different creatures. You gotta watch it.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll look it up and see what it's on.
The way this is, it sounds like 13 Ghosts. Like, everywhere is something different. You have a different experience and a different vibe.
Oh, this place is just all bad.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's closed down.
Rightful reasons.
Yes.
So, yeah, it closed in 1995. What a good year.
Can we go back to that?
My birthday. My birth year.
Right.
I'm a child.
Those were the good old years.
Well, you know, it was good for the prisoners that stayed at Moundsville because it closed.
Yeah.
So, good for them.
Oh, Lord.
That place, though, and there was a warden there that actually was forced to resign because he would torture so many people that 2 inmates per month for 2 years would die because of him torturing them.
Eventually, they had
caught on to that. Yeah, that's why they were like, hey, man.
Yeah.
You're murdering people in here. We can't have that. They're already doing enough murdering.
Right.
We can't have you doing that as well.
No.
Because you got to think, like, people would, like in the Sugar Shack, people would be murdered in there. People would, you know, sexual assaults happen, gambling, fights, all of it. And that place, like, didn't even have a guard in there. Because it, like, the way it was set up, I would not be a guard.
Too many blind spots.
There's too many blind spots. There's too many prisoners. They would literally send in 150 prisoners, and no guards would go in.
Yeah, no.
They'd be outnumbered, blind spots, fights. At this point, free for all.
Yeah.
That was their rec room.
Overtaken, yeah.
Like, when the weather was too bad outside to go in the yard, that was their place that they could go. It was their rec room. And it was named, like, nicknamed by the prisoners the Sugar Shack because of all the, you know, things that happen with sugar in there. And plot twist, it's not candy.
No, we're talking murders.
I don't think murders is sugary.
No.
I was thinking more, you know, other things.
Yeah.
But there's that, too.
But this place had less than 800 cells?
Yeah.
And housed, like, how many inmates?
3,000.
3,000 inmates?
In, like, a 5x7.
Okay.
So that's, like, 3 people a cell.
Yeah.
Where was the third one sleeping?
I know, that's
if you say a
small
tent
room.
They had a tent in the corner.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's
no.
That's
3
smaller.
people.
I'm trying to think of, like, how small that would be.
Well, I'm 5'5".
You could even fit those little beds in there. Jeez.
5 by
I could
7.
never be a prisoner.
No.
Never.
Nope. If I was, I would not survive. So that's why I abide by the laws.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah. I'm not ending up in prison. No, thank you.
Prison life is not for me. Because no.
Yeah. Aside from the prisoners building the prison, they also had other jobs in there.
That sounded funny. Aside from the prisoners building the prison, what else did they do?
Yeah, they had other jobs in there. They had, like, what was it? Oh, I just lost my train of thought.
Jobs. Prisoners.
They did other things in there, like carpentry.
Oh, did they? I didn't read that part.
Yeah, I think. Or was I reading something else?
I don't know. Were you researching tents? Tent City? Is that something that they had in Tent City?
They were making their own tents.
That's a fancy dancy tent if you got carpentry.
Oh my god. Yeah, they did carpentry. They did, there was a paint shop.
You think they're painted their tents?
They probably painted nice scenery pictures on the walls.
They did, actually. There's a lot of art there.
Oh my god.
Yes, there's so much art there.
I think I would have to too, so I didn't look at brick walls all the time.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure there is artwork at that place.
Wow. I'm sure you'll find the little tick marks of when they were counting down their days.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of tick marks because a lot of people went in and did not come out breathing.
Then they had like a wagon shop.
I didn't know all that.
There's a wagon. They had a wagon shop in there.
Did they sell tents? I'm never letting her live that part down.
A stone yard and a brick yard
for their tents. Hold down.
They were upgrading to houses now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Is that how they built the other side of the prison?
Right.
They built one prison while they're staying in tents, and then they built the other side. But like while they were living in that prison, they were like, you know what, screw this tent idea.
Right.
We got bricks and stone now. What's up?
Oh god. But yeah, they had like a tailor in there and a bakery shop, a hospital.
I would not eat their food.
No.
If the prisoners were nope.
Nope.
I'm okay.
And I don't think I could trust another prisoner trying to do hospital stuff on me.
Absolutely not.
No surgeries, no sutures, nothing. Nope.
Coming from the medical field,
right.
Both of us.
Yeah.
No.
It's probably not sanitary.
Well, I don't know if any prison actually is.
Especially if you're in solitary confinement, floating around with your...
Well, I don't think they do surgeries down in solitary with no electricity.
Oh, God. Oh,
this
Lord.
is the chaos that we create sometimes. But speaking of medical stuff, though, they did have a psych ward that literally you would be stripped naked in a cell, and you would be held for, like, 2 to 8 hours, like, just depending on, like, how, how you were feeling, like, if you needed to be there for 8 hours, and I'm sure, like, if you felt worse, like, you would have to stay longer than the 2 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
But, like, you were stripped completely naked in your cell. Like, you're already feeling down where you're on, a watch in a psych ward. Mm-hmm. Like, that just puts you down even more, I feel like.
Right. Yeah.
At least I would feel that way.
And then, what was it, 1896, there was a riot that happened.
Was it like 52, 56 hours?
Yes.
Long?
That's crazy.
Can you imagine, like, what were the guards doing?
Right.
I mean, they were outnumbered completely.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were 500, like, inmates to 4 prison guards.
Yeah. In
one of the blocks. It was, like, the West Cell block or something.
And there was 16 hostages.
And, like, 3 or 4 died.
Yeah. They were murdered.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
50, was it 52 or 56?
52 hours?
52?
52 hours. Yeah. Can you imagine the chaos?
Like, do you think the guards, like, at that point, since they're so outnumbered, they just, like, oh, well, they're taking care of themselves.
They're probably hiding for their life.
I mean, there's not much that they can do at that point.
It's like a free-for-all at that point.
I would not step in.
No.
They'll get tired eventually.
Yeah.
Or they'll all die eventually. And in that case, you have less work to do.
True. Yeah.
I am being very dark today.
You had a lot of paperwork to do.
That is a lot of paperwork. They might have to work a little bit harder and longer. So, yeah. Things we want to experience there. We already kind of talked about maybe doing some challenges there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else, though? Like, what part of the prison are you most excited to see?
I don't know, because, like, we talked about those 4 areas. Like, those ones would be interesting. Yeah.
I want to do, like, an Estes in all of them.
Yeah.
Just to see what we get.
Right.
And, like, I feel like we each should have to, like, go under and see.
Yeah. Because we may get 2 different outcomes of that.
I'm going to ask them if they can, like, tap you on the shoulder.
Oh, God.
And when we're down in, like, JD's. Oh, wait, did we talk about JD yet?
Just briefly about...
JD has a good story, too.
Yeah.
So JD was a trustworthy prison snitch. So he was trusted by the guards in there. And when solitary confinement, like, moved to a different area or it got shut down, he was allowed to stay there, and that solitary confinement turned into, a boiler room. And he was allowed to work on it. He was, like, a handyman there. And they trusted him completely, so, like, he could come and go as he pleased. Like, he didn't have to be locked in a cell. Well, he also had a thing with another prisoner, and I think it was, like, 1979. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
His ex-mans and, like, 2 or 3 other people broke into that room because the ex-boyfriend knew how to get into that room because he would frequently visit him. And they found him on the potty, and they stabbed him on the potty and pulled him off into the middle of the room, decapitated him, and left him. And they only found out that this happened when the guards noticed that he did not show up for, like, when they count the prisoners in the morning to make sure they're all accounted for.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So JD had a very sad, traumatizing ending.
Yeah.
Which also, I think, it was the West Cell Block, which is the general population. There was another guy, Willie Hale, and he was known as a prison snitch too. And this story is crazy. Like, the things that he survived before he passed. The prisoners were so mad because, like, you know, the saying, snitches get stitches. Well, he didn't get stitches, but he did get something else. He needed stitches after it. So, the prisoners took him to the second floor of the cell block, pushed him off. He fell, he survived. They're like, oh, crap, you're still alive.
Right.
So they took him up to the fourth floor, pushed him off, still alive. So, then they did that. And
this guy just did not want to die. It was not his time.
No. And then put it on a spike and paraded it around the prison and, yeah, just let everyone see what happens when snitches
get stitches.
He needed a lot of stitches after that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of.
Mom.
Sorry, there was a child, and we didn't want to continue talking about, you know, very dark things, because it's about to get a little bit darker.
Yes.
So, the warden.
John Peck.
Prison.
Yes. He was known for torture devices. Was it shoe fly?
Yeah. So we talked about him a little bit, like how he had like 2 deaths per month.
Yeah.
So they like forced him out.
Right.
But, like, we didn't talk about what he did to get him forced out. So the shoe fly method. Go ahead with that, because
the shoe fly is like the what? The firehouse.
Firehouse.
Fire hose. And it would be like full blast, and they would smack him in the face with it. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Like, that would leave gashes.
It would break your jaw.
Yeah.
You would have no teeth left.
Mm. And I'm sure people died off that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, decapitated them.
Could be.
Crazy.
And then there was the Kicking Jenny, I think it was called.
Yeah. Which is a weird name for this one, but
I don't see kicking, and I don't...
Right.
Like, why Jenny?
But it's brutal.
Oh. So, basically with this, your ankles are strapped, and then there's a wood, like, arch thing, and you would bend over it. And, your wrist would be, you know, strapped to the other side. Mm-hmm. And the night before the torture would take place, they would soak this, like, leather whip in salt water or vinegar. And then when you get shackled, before that would happen and they would start whipping you with it, they would dip it in sand. Mm. And it would tear your skin like wet paper.
That just gave me goosebumps.
I could not imagine.
I mean, the leather already by itself is
that's
painful.
Brutal enough.
Yeah, let alone
add on vinegar or salt water dipped in sand.
Yeah, you might as well
I can't touch sandpaper because I don't like the texture.
Oh, yeah,
it makes me cringe. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't do it. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for the goosebumps. But basically, this method did not stop. The guard would not stop hitting them until the inmate died, or the guard was too tired to carry on. Like, you had to be so physically fatigued that you could not do it any longer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I couldn't even imagine. Mm-mm. Like,
and that could go on for hours.
Depending on the guard.
Yeah.
They could be so physically fit and just, like, so angry that day that they could do it for hours and hours and hours. And, like, literally, if you survived, imagine the gruesome amount of pain that you were in afterwards. That's why this place is so haunted. Like, all the torture.
Right.
All the pain. All the murder. Everything.
God, they probably hate that place.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of
I would haunt the shit out
animosity
of it,
in there.
I would haunt the shit out of it,
right.
too. Like, get out.
Oh, God.
I died here and I'm stuck here. Because they do say, like, I don't know where I heard this, but they do say, like, if you die in prison, like, you are trapped there.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard that so many times.
Like your soul's trapped there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, couldn't even imagine.
Mm-hmm. No.
But we did forget one thing that I did want to touch on, too. Orville Adkins. He was another guy that execution went wrong. So, basically, with him, he was being hung, and the door that you would stand on before they would open it up, it opened too soon, and he fell 20 feet, and he broke a bunch of bones. But the weird thing is, to me, this man's on death row.
Yeah.
He was already getting hung.
Mm-hmm.
They sent in a medical team to check on him. And then they were like, oh, well, you know, we just spent our time and, you know, we checked you out. You're already on death row, so we're just gonna, you know, redo it.
Yeah.
So they literally carried him up on a stretcher and redid the whole thing on a stretcher. And did it again.
And this is the one where didn't his head get decapitated?
No, that was the other one.
Okay.
Yeah. That was when they stopped doing the execution. So there was, like, a bunch of things that went terribly wrong when they did this.
That's horrible.
And that just goes to show, like, how brutal this place really was.
Yeah.
And it operated for 119 years, and it was listed as, like, the top 10 most violent prisons. I think I see why.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go there.
I would like to talk to, like, some of them guards.
I wouldn't.
Just to hear, like, their experiences.
They're probably traumatized, too.
Honestly. Probably on medication.
I would have to be.
Alcoholic.
I would have to be.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that line of work.
Yeah.
No. Not for me.
And then, is that 1938 was a triple hanging?
Well, that's when Orville Adkins was part of that.
Okay.
So he was like the middle guy.
And he was in the local newspaper, too.
Yeah. They advertised it.
Yeah. That's
so messed up.
Right.
Like, yeah, we're about to hang, 3 people at the same time. And then this happens.
Right.
So they advertised it. It went terribly wrong.
It's
like I physically am sitting here and I'm like, I have no words.
Yeah.
For this prison. Other than I'm excited to go. Just because it was so bad. I don't know why. Like, it's just going to be a fun night. And we're going to be there until like 4 a.m.
Yeah. So we definitely got to be able to get some type of feedback from it.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
This place is so active. I can't imagine us going and not experiencing anything.
Yeah.
Especially when I lock you in a cell. Or put you in the sugar shack by yourself.
No.
Or put you in Old Sparky.
Right.
Well, the death house isn't there anymore, so
God.
that's off the list. Unfortunate. So anyway.
It's going to be interesting.
Stay tuned, because we're going to have way more to talk about. I'm sure there's a lot more prisons like this that we're going to find. And maybe not as violent, but probably close.
Yeah.
I think this one honestly
tops the list. Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
Yeah. I would say so too.
But yeah, stay tuned, because we are going to like talk. Maybe we can like go live or, talk about our experience and do a podcast video after we go in August.
Yeah.
But
we could do it before and then after.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Comment down below. Let us know what you want us to do there. If you have any challenges for us to do, like going alone, or I know some people are going to say, oh, lock Kayla in a cell. That's fine. I'll do it. It's whatever. Give Crystal something. If I got to be locked in a cell, what does she have to do?
Yeah.
So drop a comment. Let us know what crazy things you want us to do when we're there in August. But yeah, that's going to wrap up all of our history on that. And we will be back next week with another prison. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure to like, subscribe to our channel if you don't, because I noticed half of our viewers do not subscribe.
Oh, come on.
Just hit that button. It's free. Doesn't cost anything, and it helps us out.
Yeah.
Keeps us motivated. Come on. Just watch us every week, even if you don't like it.
Right.
You can just comment and say, you're stupid, shut up. I appreciate that comment. Come on now. And if you haven't already, join the Discord. A lot of fun. Crystal's actually getting a lot more active in there.
Yes.
It's a little dead right now, but we're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
We got some big things planned that we're actually going to work on now. We're not going to release that yet.
Nope. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, because you don't want to miss it. Catch you next week.
See you guys.